We're here at Mazama Trailhead here in Mount Hood National Forest. And here's our trailhead. Got an interesting hike planned for today. We are on the north side, really the northwest side of Mount Hood National Forest, Mount Hood Wilderness, accessing the Timberline Loop. And we're going to be hiking up Mazama Trail onto Timberline. And we're going to be doing the McNeil Point Triangle, going up to Ho Rock and heading back. My calculations about 10.7 miles and 3,500 foot elevation gain. We have a road not taken. Most people are accessing Mount Hood from the south side. Interesting 18-mile road, Lola Pass. Wasn't bad. Wow, look at that. Wasn't bad coming down a couple miles of slightly bumpy forest road, but I've done a lot worse. So here we are, road not taken. Kind of a fun way here on Saturday, July 29th, 2023 to access Timberline Loop. Looks like we are coming up to the permit box for Mazama Trail. Oh, I love this old growth forest. This is beautiful. As we ascend Mazama Trail, got my trusty permit in my pocket. My first time ever approaching Timberline Loop from Mazama Trail, so first time I'm seeing this. Start with pretty dense old growth, pretty cool, shadowy, a lot of canopy. No direct sun at this stage, but we shall see. Looks like the views are starting to open up here a little bit. So we're ascending Mazama Trail, Mount Hood Wilderness. At just the peak of the sun as we ascend this beautiful area. Clearly signs of a fire long ago. You look up here. Pretty steep little section here. We look down on this trail, hike up Mazama Trail. It's like the sun is starting to come out here, lighting up these beautiful old growth trees. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I am digging this. Good way to start the hike as we ascend Mazama Trail. beautiful series of switchbacks. Look at that. It's pretty gorgeous. We continue to ascend. So unbelievably beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful sun coming over into our trail. This hike starts with a pretty steep ascent. I think this is just the beginning too. You stop here and make a panorama. Look at that beauty. Look at the majesty. The sun peeking through. Beautiful rolling Mount Hood Wilderness, Mount Hood National Forest in Oregon. Very cool. Mazama Trail. Looks like we're leaving this epic rock slide formation. Heading back into the forest proper. We'll stop and take another gander at the beautiful Mount Hood Wilderness and Mount Hood National Forest. So this first section is a series of switchbacks. If you're coming to do Mazama, realize you are doing an elevation gain lung burner as we get some beautiful views. First section ascends up the forest after going through a rocky section. Definitely a feel the burn hike, pretty steeply graded. So this first section, other than the boulder zone, pretty nondescript forest, keeping it real, but beautiful growth. And we are ascending, climbing. Feels good though. Get a good lung burner in. Funny, because every switchback you go up, angle looks like you might be near the top, and it cuts back into the forest. We're getting some beautiful expansive views. All these flowers, they're gorgeous. Look at these, very beautiful. And it's starting to level out a little bit. It's a particularly steep switchback section there. Good half dozen or so switchbacks. Pretty steep grade, but we're leveling out as we continue to ascend. And we are reaching the top of this particular climbing zone. And look at that. Some gorgeous views of mighty Mount Hood. See a sign here showing we're About to enter Mount Hood Wilderness proper, entering Mount Hood National Forest. Come on over here. Be careful because this is steep. Come right here, get a gorgeous view. Mighty Mount Hood, tallest mountain in the state of Oregon. And this beautiful canyon. Absolutely beautiful. As we continue to hike along, beautiful views of Mount Hood to our left. And here we are, officially entering Mount Hood Wilderness. Got a good mix of purple and pink flowers in this burnout to kind of brighten the perspective. I actually always enjoy me a good burnout because it gives long, expansive views of canyons and mountains and horizons, but pops color certainly add to it. See right there, getting kind of the silhouette of Mount Hood. Almost looks like it erupted with those clouds right above it. Kind of a cool optical illusion. As we continue, you hike along. I'm enjoying the reprieve of the trail right now. Some flatness and these pretty flowers. So when you start at Mazama Trail, pretty much start up instantly. Go through a boulder switchback section, which was gorgeous. And then you go up a pretty steep, harshly graded forest of switchbacks. It seems like you climb a huge swath of forest pretty quickly. And that was probably the hardest part so far. Now we've come to the top of this ridge and it's leveling out, getting a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more eye candy, and more of a stable grade. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love this. Oh, this is amazing. I always enjoy walking on a bit of a ridge line. Good expansive canyon views, mountain views, and a little bit of sun exposure with beautiful flowers. It's a nice zone. No mosquitoes so far. Today's July 27th, 2023. Typically kind of a life hack when it comes to hiking hack. If you're concerned about mosquitoes, particularly in July in the Cascades, go to a burnout area, whether that's the Mount Washington Wilderness or parts of Mount Jefferson, or in this case, the Mazama Trailhead from Mount Hood. You go to burnout zones, there's gonna be a lot less mosquitoes. Haven't seen a single one so far, July 29th. There's some other areas right now in the Cascades that are absolutely infested, mosquito ground zero. So burnout areas in July. That's the tip. Avoid the little micro vampires. Unless you're a fan of involuntary blood donations. Seeing the silhouette of Mount Hood, quite beautiful. I'm not sure what this haze is attributed to. If this is smoke, or if this is just morning haze, but we're not getting a crystal clear view of Hood, but nevertheless, getting a sense of the awesomeness of its presence. Mountain towering over the area. Highest place in the entire state of Oregon right ahead. Say the heat is a bit deceiving. Low 45, high of 66. So in theory, it should be pretty optimal, but I'm already sweating and I'm not a big sweater, so unzipped my Ramona fleece and I'm already feeling it. I've got a couple sugar-free Powerades in tow, so should hopefully do me. Beautiful pink flowers here. Kind of a root system hiking up. You'd be kidding me, I always like these little narrow rooted tracks. Feels like a secret path. Ooh, feeling some nice shade after a bit of an exposed section. Feels nice. After a long ascent, we have flattened out here a little bit. We are still going through a mixed burnout forest zone. Listen with the sun. Done over half the elevation gain of the Mazama Trail portion of this hike. Almost about halfway in the distance section. A cool little root system here. If you look up at the beautiful sun overlooking Mount Hood Wilderness. Oh, this is so beautiful. I'm loving this classic burnout zone of Mazama Trail. I had to practice how to pronounce that because I kept mispronouncing it. Mazama. Oh. Kind of interesting. Oh, this is so beautiful. First, look at that sun. And look at this beautiful glowing wilderness area, this burnout zone, Mazama Trail. This is beautiful. I am a sucker for a good burnout zone. Look how expansive this is. Got a lot of spruces, pink flowers. Forest fires are a bit of the life cycle of the forest, part of a natural process. I know we don't like forest fires. We don't want the loss of human life, or animal life, or property. Obviously, it's horrible. As far as the health eco-cycle of the forest fires are a natural part of the life cycle of forests. And I do appreciate the ecological diversity of a burnout like this. Life always finds a way. Got burgeoning young trees, beautiful flowers, expansive views. Opens up views for the grand forest perspective, the canyons, as well as at certain spots, Mount Hood itself. I'm actually a fan of the burnout. I also think it's a hiking hack here in the Cascades. In July, if you want to avoid the mosquitoes, do a burnout hike. Mosquitoes are typically almost non-existent. Like, I haven't seen a single mosquito yet, and a couple miles in. So, July, Cascades, particularly Oregon and Washington, do burnout hikes so you don't get a single bite in most instances. I love all the spruce. Really spruce. But unusual. I live down in Central Oregon, and the tree that typically populates the burnouts is the pine. This area is more spruce laden. Spruce and pines are two of my three favorite types of trees, along with the mountain hemlock, the alpine mix. Getting some grand silhouettes of Mount Hood. If those are coming through, but some sort of haze in the air. Thinking that could be distant fire, wind sweeping in. Oh, this is so beautiful. I would say, even though Mount Hood is not giving us the crispness and clarity we would like, it is nevertheless quite awesome and gorgeous in its stature, towering over the area. Still very beautiful. This burnout is definitely an ascension. It's beautiful, but it is not flat. We are gaining elevation with every step. This particular Mazama Trail portion, first 3.4 to 3.6 miles, about 22 to 2,400 foot elevation gain. So we really gaining elevation every step, but also enjoying the classic beauty of this burnout. Oh, look at that. I gotta say, between these white dead trees, these purple flowers, getting some strong Mount Jefferson Wilderness vibes, as well as Mateo Lakes area. Something about these purple flowers that like to reconstitute burnout zone. Oh, this is so beautiful. We got a little reprieve here. A little section of flatness. Catch our breath a little bit. I don't mean to be breathing so heavily, but I've got 10.7 miles and 3,500 feet to gain, and it's summer. I don't want to go slow and overshoot my temperature management window, so walking and talking, and I'm gonna have to huff and puff a little bit as I gain elevation and hike. It's kind of funny, you don't realize how much of your breath you use to talk. If I wasn't talking, I probably wouldn't be out of breath. The combination of hiking and talking is kind of exhausting, but in a fun way, or I wouldn't do it. This is beautiful. Oh, this is a magical zone. Oh, you look back. This is a magical burnout zone. Look at this. You got the white dead trees creating pretty epic ambiance. Got them across the way too. Look at all those white dead trees. There's one bad forest fire. I've got all these purple, pink flowers, magenta, just lighting up this ridgeline. We've got the silhouette, mighty Mount Hood, straight ahead. Quite beautiful. It's got a little bit of a haze, but nevertheless still quite stunning. Grandiose in its stature. Tallest mountain, tallest point in the state of Oregon. Oh, it's a pretty cool ridge. I'm digging this. Definitely has that special feel. And I love me a quality burnout zone, and that's what this is. If this was still old growth, we wouldn't even see the mountain right there. That's a silver lining. Oh, this is so magical. So beautiful. Oh, this is amazing. We're hiking through a burnout wonderland right now. Getting views of our friend Mount Hood. Meandering through these dead white tree stumps. Collectively, they have a pretty ominous mood, ambient setting feel. Get us up to Timberline, which is a very premium zone. Then we're gonna try to do the McNeil Point Triangle. Adds another 1,000 feet elevation gain. So if we can do the whole itinerary, looking at about 10.7 miles and about 3,500 feet, Mazama Trailhead to Timberline to McNeil Point Triangle, back to Timberline, back down Mazama to your vehicle. Assuming you drove. I don't know how else you'd get up here for a day hike. And one of these rooted sections. I'm a sucker for these little narrow sections. I think the kid in me feels like they're like a hidden secret passageway I found, and for some reason I like them. As we continue to ascend this burnout, got Hood straight ahead, weaving around this interesting trail. Do have expansive panoramic views. Definitely ecologically diverse and interesting. not a one-note hike by any stretch. Around every bend is a different topographic footprint, ecological footprint. I am a fan of hikes like that. One of the things I like about these kind of burnouts is a particular steep section. Look at these beautiful views of Mount Hood straight ahead. Due to a little bit of smoke, you're just getting the silhouette, but still quite beautiful. Gorgeous zone of Mazama Trail. Then one of these little narrow passageways I like. Oh, this is delightful. This is beautiful. Climbing. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. These logs here are a great place to take a break. The top of a long slog. Oh my gosh, look at that. We are in an alpine heaven, my friend. Mount Hood Wilderness. Look at that view of Mount Hood. We're here on the Mazama Trail. Climbed about 1,800 feet so far. Since the trailhead is about 3,400, we're about 5,300. And we are mounting some pretty epic views. The payoff for this hike is forthcoming. We're going to be getting up to Timberline Loop. Oh my God, look at that. We're going to be getting up to Timberline Loop and going to be doing the McNeil Point Triangle. Getting up close and personal with our friends straight ahead. The glorious mighty Mount Hood, tallest mountain in the state of Oregon. Oh, this is a pretty gorgeous section. It's funny, you're on an uphill slog for miles and going through some nondescript forests, switchbacks, all of a sudden opens up and you're in a bit of a pinch me I'm dreaming alpine wonderland. Oh, this is a nice flat reprieve. First time I've had the chance to really catch my breath without having to stop. It's been a pretty endless incline, almost this entire hike. Very little reprieve. And now we're getting some gorgeous mountain views. We're in the last mile or so of Mazama Trail, which will connect us to Timberline Loop. And then we're just going to get better and better views doing McNeil Point. I like seeing the mountain and the forest from different vantage points. From my knowledge, history, experience of Mount Hood, Timberline Loop, and Mount Hood Wilderness and Mount Hood National Forest, I don't think a lot of people bother to drive all the way around to the north and approach this zone from the Mazama Trailhead. It's a bit of an uphill slog, to be fair. It's difficult, and there's easier ways to get better views, but nevertheless, why not take advantage of every vantage point? This trail could be the premium trail in a lot of other states, but we have such an embarrassment of riches here in Oregon that it gets buried halfway down the list of a bunch of other trails. I'm not disputing that going to Timberline Lodge and doing ZigZag Canyon, ZigZag River isn't probably better. I have that full video series available here. Also previously did Top Spur to Bald Mountain all the way over to Elk Cove, similar range I'm exploring today. That whole video series available as well. Those are both indisputably better hikes, but don't sleep on the Mazama Trail approach either. This is definitely, if not just a once bucket list type hike, definitely worth doing. As I said, this could be the premium hike in a lot of other states. It's a lot of eye candy, a lot of gorgeous panoramic views, Great burnout zones, lots of alpine, Mount Hood eye candy. Beautiful area. One of the cool things I will also add about Mazama Trail is it's almost entirely in range. I've got T-Mobile. I've got the 5G for a good chunk of it, so I've been able to keep up my AllTrails app, track exactly how much mileage and elevation gain I've done through the whole thing and the gradation. So that has actually helped quite a bit, because this isn't, you're not going to get lost on the hike. It's very easy, straightforward, but you can't really tell where you're at bearing wise. So many twists and turns on this one, so it's been nice to have perception and be able to track where I'm at throughout the hike. I'm on the last mile or so, and only a few hundred feet elevation gain. Speaking of the devil, this is one of the steepest sections we've had. I don't know if that comes across. That's practically scramble straight up. Let's do it. I'm going to interest you in a beautiful meadow. Oh, a little bit of alpine, eye candy, purple flowers, miniature spruces, a little cat's eye, cat's tail, I should say. Oh, this is so beautiful. We are nearing the end of the Mazama Trail. Just did an AllTrails check. We're about 3.3 over 3.6 for this segment, and we're about 120 feet away from the 55 or 100 or so mark. So we're started about 3,400. We're at about 5,400. So we've a little over 5,400. We're gone over 2,000 feet in the last 100 or so, and in the last couple tens to finish the Mazama segment of our hike. Shaded section. It's quite nice. So we mop up the Mazama Trail segment. Do dig all this moss on these trees. It's cool. I'm loving this old growth forest. This is quintessential Mount Hood wilderness we are currently exploring and traversing. Say I moved down to Central Oregon. I covet the drier, more piney topography. Central Oregon, and kind of similar to the John Muir Wilderness and Idaho Sawtooth area. I kind of dig the drier, piney area, some white granite stone, and those areas kind of speak to me, but I do appreciate beautiful old growth like this. We're coming close. I even kind of recognize some of this area ahead. We're getting close to rejoining our friend Timberline Loop, all her splendor, all her magic. Timberline Loop, as well as Broken Top Loop, definitely the two premier alpine backpacking loops in the state of Oregon, hands down. I'd say they're both also premium alpine backpacking loops in the entire country. Pretty epic, legendary. So we're getting some peaks of Mount Hood. Oh, this is so beautiful. Starting to get more into the money zone. General rule of thumb in Mount Hood Wilderness, the closer you get to Timberline Loop, the closer you're getting to the money zone. Timberline Loop being the premier loop in this area. And look at this vast rocky zone. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is crazy. Straight on silhouette view of mighty Mount Hood. As we continue to ascend, all these boulders to our left. This miniature Christmas tree zone, I'll call it, right beneath Mount Hood, framing the beauty. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely spectacular. As we continue to ascend, oh my God, look at that. That is crazy. Look at the beautiful Mount Hood. That is gorgeous, my friend. So we continue on our trail. We're getting money shots of the gorgeous Mount Hood. And we're only going to be getting closer and closer from here on out as we get on Timberline and McNeil Point. Look at these views. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that is. We're getting some epic views of our close trusty friend Mount Hood in all her majesty. Look at the layering. Got Mount Hood, got our rocky section, all these trees. Oh, this is gorgeous. And we are right at the end, the edge of Mazama Trail. Mazama Trail. And look at these spectacular views. This is crazy. This is gorgeous. We are ending a Mazama Trail, about to reconnect with our trusty friend Timberline Loop. But look at the gorgeousness that is Mazama Trail. Decided to take the path not taken, the road not taken today, Robert Frost style. Started at Northern Trailhead, Mazama Trail, and in just 3.6 miles and 2,200 feet elevation, I'm connecting up the northern side of Timberline Loop with our trusty friend Timberline Loop, one of the two greatest backpacking alpine loops in the entire state of Oregon. I'd say two of the top ones in the country as well. We were just in the last 10th or so, 10th of a mile, about to connect on to said Timberline Loop, finish the Mazama segment. Highly recommend doing this at least once. It's a bit difficult, 2,200 feet in 3.6 miles. It is doable. Ask me how I know. I'm just completing it in mere seconds, but I think it's worth doing at least once, if not a bucket list. Granted, ZigZag Canyon and Ramona Falls and all these areas are probably more beautiful as far as effort to reward payoff. Doesn't diminish the value of Mazama Trail. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Mazama very easily could be a top hike in another state. We happen to have an embarrassment of riches around Timberline. Allows us the luxury of cherry picking, but I would take advantage of the different topographical profiles and ecological footprints of the area, the different vantage points. Always a good and
fun thing to do as I finish Mazama Trail. Oh, 2,200 feet, 3.6 miles. Now we're getting on Timberline Loop proper. We're going to go on to McNeil Point, do that triangle up to Ho Rock, and then come back. I'm in heaven. This, my friend, is an alpine wonderland. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at the wonder. Look at the magic. This is absolutely incredible. I'm here on the Timberline Loop, northern side, near the McNeil Point cutoff. I'd stop and take a gander at our alpine eye candy friend, the beautiful Mount Hood, tallest mountain in the state of Oregon. And look at this beauty. Look at this magic. This is absolutely incredible. As we continue along Timberline Loop, oh, look at the magic. Look at this area. This is incredible. This is pure alpine bliss. Look at this. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Look at that. This is crazy. Sign straight ahead on the trail, that is for McNeil Point. We are going to be doing the McNeil Point Triangle next. Trying to make our way up to Ho Rock. Oh, this is so